pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Kathy, would you mind leading us in prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessings you have bestowed on each and every one of us and this county. We ask that you guide us and lead us so that we might make decisions that would be in your liking and for the better of this community. We ask all of this in thy heavenly precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you both very much. All right.
Let you sit in the basement. There we go.
The air has been let out, apparently. Okay. All right. Want to welcome everybody to today's Board of Sauter County Commissioners meeting for May 20th, 2021. And officially open our meeting. And would there be a motion? Could there be a motion on the table for approving the minutes of May the 13th?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes of May 13th.
I'll second.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
And a matter request for appropriation of funds.
Are there any questions or comments in regards to item 2? Hearing none.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
And the matter request for appropriation transfer of funds.
Questions or comments in regards to item 3? Hearing none.
I will make the motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution establishing a debt service fund for the 2021 various purpose refunding bonds enterprise fund.
On item 4, Auditor Green asked for a separate line item in order to, or a fund in order to handle the debt service for the refunding of the bonds. We just did all of them, and he would like a separate fund created to do that, to track that better. And so we have this resolution today to consider to do just that. Are there any questions or comments in regards to item 4? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt the resolution?
I will second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of execution of closing certificates and bonds for $3,875,000, County of Scioto, Ohio, various purpose limited tax general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2021.
This particular item is in regards to all of the refinancing that we just did. Closing certificates of the bonds, $3.875 million of the Ohio various purpose limited tax general obligation refunding bonds. This is the actual execution of the closing certificates that we have here. Are there any questions or comments in regards to doing so? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye, and I would like to add, as we discussed last week, this will be saving the county considerable amount of money, saving the taxpayers roughly $1 million in long-term bond payments. So, all right, item 6.
In the matter of resolution amending resolution number 59/2020, which authorized the issuance of sanitary sewer system revenue bonds, Series 2020, in an aggregate principal amount of $3 million for the purpose of paying part of the cost of constructing certain sewer improvements.
On this particular one, the amortization schedule had to be redone as the sewer revenue bonds, the timeline didn't happen as quickly as what it was thought that would be. So therefore, the amortization schedule had to be redone on these bonds, which is standard operating procedure for this particular issue. Are there any questions or comments in regards to that? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt?
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting an amended certificate from the Budget Commission.
Questions or comments in regards to item 7? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting miscellaneous reports,
Questions or comments in regards to item 8? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of Job and Family Services 2022-2023 biennial subgrant agreement with Ohio Department of Job and Family Services and Ohio Department of Medicaid.
This is an annual thing that we do where we have to agree to the grants that operate between our local Job and Family Services and the Department of Job and Family Services, as well as the Department of Medicaid, which a lot of those dollars run through that department. Are there any questions or comments in regards to item 9? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting meeting minutes,
Questions or comments in regards to item 10? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
I will second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of request for fund transfers,
Questions or comments in regards to item 11? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of notification from the Ohio Public Defender regarding indigent defense reimbursement for February of 2021.
The February reimbursement rate was at 80%. Ohio Public Defender indigent defense reimbursement for February 2021. The amount reported was $51,377.75. The amount rejected was $1,597.35. The amount approved was $49,780.40 for a total reimbursement of $39,824.32. Again, at an 80% rate. We have been lobbying for a while now to get that to 100%, and hopefully it survives. The budget reconciliation going on in Columbus right now. So if we get it to 100%, we'll feel even better about it, a lot better about it. So with that, are there any questions or comments in regards to item 12? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
I will second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of approving payment of the regular scheduled accounts for the various funds, moral obligations, and the then and now certificates in the total amount of $303,180.88.
Questions or comments in regards to item 13? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of notification from the Ohio Department of Taxation regarding permissive sales tax for March of 2021.
In regards to the permissive sales tax, we had an increase in sales tax for the month of March. No, this would be for the month of, is it March or April?
It's March.
It is March, okay. For March of $163,291.26. This shows a continued increase in our sales tax revenue. Now this will be a little bit skewed because if you recall, things started shutting down last year in March. So it's really very deceptive when you look at it. I was looking at the April numbers, and our April numbers are up 45%. From what I'm seeing, the preliminary April numbers that came through on that email, they're up 45%. So that would be right. I mean, but what percentage is it over and above and beyond? It's going to be very interesting to see how that all washes out in the end. But anyways, there was a nice increase for March. Things didn't really start shutting down until the 3rd and 4th week of March. So we didn't see a huge drop, but definitely we're looking good for this year. So with that, are there any questions or comments in regards to item 14? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of execution of closing certificates and bonds for the $3 million County of Scioto, Ohio Sanitary Sewer System Revenue Bond Series 2021.
This particular item, and this is the execution of closing certificates of bonds, $3 million, and these would be from 2021 with a maturity date of 2061. Anyone planning on being here for that? The interest rate on those is 1.5%. So it's a nice interest rate. Are there any questions or comments in regards to these bonds? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
In the matter of resolution authorizing the chairman of the Cider County Board of Commissioners to execute the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriation Act regarding the Greater Portsmouth Regional Airport.
This particular item is for a Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Act grant for the airport authority to use to continue doing COVID response at the airport. There's several employees. There's also a restaurant out there. And this particular, we did not put the dollar value on this, but it was $13,000. Yeah, $13,000, and this is to have permission for the chairman of the board to execute it, as we are the authority over them. So yeah, that's federal money coming to the airport for coronavirus response. Any questions or comments in regards to item 16? And I apologize for its late add to the agenda. Hearing none.
Motion to adopt.
I will second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye. Okay. All right. Mrs. Coleman, do you have anything?
None at this time, sir.
Mr. Powell.
Just want to say congratulations to career technical student Eon Spears, I believe his name is, won the bricklaying competition as a junior of the state. So he's going to national, and the reason I bring this up, I'd like to see, in general, us make a bigger deal as people are going into the trades.
Sure.
We're seeing people signing letters for sports and, going into college. And, as people are getting into the unions or getting, their apprenticeships, I think we should make just a big deal, because I think we're getting to a critical mass situation where we're not going to have people to fill these critical jobs. So just wanted to put that out there. I know a lot of the unions are constantly looking for trainees. And if that's something, a young person is interested in, by all means, you could go that route and not be strapped with student loan debt like so many of us are. And but congratulations to him. He's going to nationals. Best of luck. That was good to see.
Awesome. I also saw where some schools, I don't know if it was in this area or not, where they were actually having signing days for going into the military.
That's awesome too.
I saw that, where there were some that were, just like they had the drapes for, you had the colleges mentioned on the table, and in the background you've got the pull down banner, and they're signing to play sports at whatever university. I saw one the other day where someone was signing to join the Navy or the Air Force, I believe it was, and they treated it just like that. And really, that is a career move. That is a life-changing move by a young person. And actually, in the military, you can get your training, you can get your college paid. I mean, there's a lot of benefits from joining the military, and they were actually applauding that for their students in high school, which I thought was really, well, that was neat, just like this, what you were talking about. So kudos to those schools that take the time to acknowledge those decisions by those students to do such and to go and serve our country admirably, and that is much needed as well today. All right. Anything else?
That's all right.
Okay. All right. Present press. Patrick Keg, Portsmouth Daily Times.
I just had one question on agenda, and I had two off of agenda.
Okay.
The first one just regards the sanitary sewer system. Was the schedule redone due to just delays in the work, or I know a lot of companies have said it's been hard to get supplies. I was just kind of looking for more information on that.
Is this item 6?
Yes.
You're asking about? Typically, what happens is there's deadlines set to start that process, and until you get everything lined up, you can't begin it. You can't start the process. So as far as the delays, it could be paperwork issues, it could be construction. To be honest with you, I don't know exactly what the core of the delay was. Do you, Jen?
No.
This happens where you don't necessarily start when you think you're going to start, and you have to reschedule it. Instead of starting in June, you're starting in July, whatever that may be. So we have not heard of problems with getting materials for sewer projects yet. We haven't heard that. Hopefully we don't. We have definitely heard about steel. Steel is very much out there. We're hearing delays on other types of construction materials such as mud and drywall and things like that, but that really doesn't apply here. So steel is a major issue. We are still hearing about more delays and lead times on delivering steel. So hopefully that won't be the case. But this is 100% a paperwork issue as far as the timing to issue the bond. So there's a lot of that kind of work being done right now across Ohio and probably the greater United States for that matter. Okay. You got? Okay. You're up. Go ahead then, Patrick. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, my off-agenda question, I received the notice from Bill Johnson about the tank.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, more information on that. I understand it's now property of the commissioners.
Will be. I am awaiting the paperwork for that. We agreed to take ownership basically because we told them we would not, under any circumstance, would we agree to anything that took money out of anybody's pocket. The VFW was a non-starter. Those ladies and gentlemen served their country, don't deserve to be dragged through the mud like that. And they were taken out of the equation because they didn't need to be in the middle of all of that. I have written a response to her, which they were very professional. Don't get me wrong, I really appreciate them working with us on this. Basically stating that, we didn't feel like it was our responsibility since they changed the terms of the contract, and that, anything that would require spending money was a non-starter for us. So they came back with the offer to literally just turn the tank over to us. Free of charge, just, it's yours. So there is a transfer of ownership that has to be done there. She's supposed to send me the paperwork so I can sign. I have not seen that yet. I'll be following up with her. But we appreciate the Navy working with us and getting this resolved. And we appreciate Bill Johnson's office helping as well. He really, took very personal and substantial steps to make sure that this was resolved appropriately for these ladies and gentlemen in the VFW and for the county as a whole. So we don't have to worry about a Chinook flying over and hauling the tank away. So the only thing we have to worry about now is we're very interested in trying to get the Career Technical Center to drop a Hemi in it, and we can drive it in parades. So we'll see. We'll see. But we'll have to break the well to get into it first.
There you go.
But no, we're kidding, just in case.
Well, are we?
We're not well, there's been enough debate about armored vehicles in the paper these days. We don't need one.
Yeah.
We don't need one at the county level right now, although it is an option.
It's there.
But anyways, we'll get beyond that, and we'll get this taken care of, and it's just, we're very close to getting it taken care of.
And I think probably one of the details that I found the most absurd about this whole thing is the reason for the insurance request was so they could maintain a virtual museum or a virtual, it's like, okay, take a picture. Like, so that was the thought process of why they needed this insurance, was to maintain a virtual archive, if you will, of these war relics.
Yeah, it was absurd. Yeah, we ask our men and women to go blow stuff up, and then we tell them they have to insure it. Yeah, that makes sense. But anyways, they agreed, and we're resolving this situation, and we were glad that we could be a part of that. And from Washington, to the State House to the courthouse, we got it done. So we're good now. Thanks, Patrick, for following that, by the way. I think that meant a lot to the gentlemen that were involved out there that came. Bill, of course, met with them. Congressman Johnson met with them, and then they, felt like their voice was heard. And they definitely had a problem. They didn't want to spend money. VFW runs on a very meager budget, and the money they do raise with their dinners and things like that, and their membership has gone down. So it's very hard for them to keep the VFW open. But the money they do raise, they do to help veterans. So any money you take out of that, that help is lost, and we weren't going to allow that to happen. We just didn't feel that was right, and
Brian,
we're good.
for those who are tuning in and may not, as he partially explained, it was the exorbitant amount of the insurance,
Yeah.
the coverage that they wanted. What was it, $1 million?
They wanted coverage for $1 million, and it just, and that was a new requirement, and that was so they could do this museum thing. And again, we question the rationale of, was it a relic? It's an Iraqi piece of Soviet armor, and it was burnt out. It was hit, no doubt, by an RPG or something. It was hit by something because it burned out the whole inside of it, and it's been welded shut, and there's no danger. So, but it was all about it being a relic, and I think it's time that we let the relic become part of history and be done with it. So anyways, it is what it is. Thank you. And you have another one there? No? Okay. Go right ahead, sir.
All right, off the agenda, Mark Craycraft. It's clear that vaccination numbers have declined. What do you suppose is causing this apathy? What would you tell the citizens about getting vaccinated?
That's a great question. I can say that all 3 commissioners have been vaccinated. We all have our different reasons for doing so. We all actually have all had the different ones, which we did by not playing. It just happened that way. But I think there's a little bit of apathy out there. I think they're seeing the numbers declining, so they don't see the fear, they don't see the reason to do it. There is a certain amount of religious feeling out there that people don't feel safe taking it. I think there's also a portion of people out there that don't want to be told what to do. I think there's that as well. And there's some people that just don't simply trust the government on this. Unfortunately, the whole situation was made political right at the beginning, and it was really terrible that it was done so. We have done vaccines for years and years and years, and if you take the time to research them yourself, don't necessarily take the time to read mainstream media or whatever, because there's a lot of different opposing views out there. You need to make the right decision for your family. In our case, we have a child that's in our family that we need to protect, and this is the best way we knew how to do so. And others have other reasons, but it seems like we have stagnated. I've been noticing that in the numbers here lately, even with the Vax-A-Million thing that's going on. I don't know how much that's really going to help locally. I really don't. I'm not one to tell people either what to do. I'm not. You think people need to educate themselves and make the best decision for themselves and for their families and for their neighbors, and people need to know that doesn't cost money. They can have that vaccine. It's readily available, and if they want it, all they have to do is call their local health department. Watch Facebook. There's messages all the time on Facebook telling people where the clinics are, and I think one reason that the coronavirus has reduced in its spread as we got our elderly population vaccine relatively well. Not everybody did, but our nursing homes and assisted living centers and others have done an amazing job. They're really, to me, they're some of the heroes of this entire pandemic. But people need to realize it's real. The coronavirus is real. It's not fake. It's not made up news. It's none of that. And the problem is that it was politicized early on, so it caused a lot of mistrust from the community and from citizens, unfortunately. And I don't know how you roll that back. I really don't. I don't know how you get people to trust that after all that's been said, and it's still happening. That's the amazing thing. People are still talking, and you know, I mean, and there's still a lot of fear mongering out there as far as the different types of vaccines and the results of those vaccines, and I don't know if we'll know the answers on those anytime in the near future, exactly what has caused some of the issues that have arisen with some of the blood clotting and things like that. Is that genetic? You know, they'll eventually probably figure that out, but it's the weighing the risk. I mean, that's where we're at. So it's a touchy situation with a lot of people, and and I think we've tried to lead by example ourselves. That wasn't necessarily the reason we did it. I did it to protect my family, and having had coronavirus myself, knowing what that feels like, having gone through those days at home, feeling very, very sick in quarantine, yeah, I know all about it, and I know full well what the effects are. And having lost multiple dear friends as a result of this disease, I would personally recommend people to do it as a precaution, especially for their families. So, anyone?
The only other thing, is the Governor DeWine's, what is it, Vax-A-Million? That deadline is coming up soon. For the first drawing, there's going to be multiple drawings. And I think the deadline for the first drawing is Sunday. So if anyone is interested in entering that, you need to do so, and you just go online to do it. But I was reading about it the other day, and there's also part of that is a scholarship for students, 17 years and
12 to 17, or in that
17
one,
and
I think.
under, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, again, that would be another opportunity for those young people who have gotten their vaccine to enter for that drawing as well.
I probably have a unique experience with this. One, it's not lost on me that I'm sitting here because of coronavirus. We lost Mike Crabtree, and that's why I'm now in this seat. So to pretend that it's not something that's real or not something that's not deadly is absurd. And then working in nursing homes and running nursing homes, we saw it well before the communities. We saw our communities just ravaged and in very quick order. So when I decided to get the vaccine, we were offered first round, and I'm not typically somebody that gets flu shot, pneumonia shot, anything like that. So I did my research, I did my due diligence, and I had to weigh the pros and cons, and quite honestly, based on what I do, something had to happen within our communities for us to then be able to open up for essentially our residents to see their loved ones, to not potentially die alone, to not be able to have that connection, that personal connection. So while things are opening and while things are very much slowing down, I guess I would just caution, be mindful of your elderly and at-risk loved ones, friends, families, neighbors. And then the other comment I would make is that people are still making decisions based on what they feel is best for them. whether it is to get the vaccine, not to get the vaccine, where it is to wear a mask, not to wear a mask, whatever that is, respect that. You know, we don't need to yell at people for continuing to wear a mask after the mask orders are lifted. We should have never been yelling at people for choosing not to wear a mask. But somewhere along the lines, we've gotten too comfortable just beating each other up over, you know, what they feel is right or wrong based in this moment. Because as Brian said, the media has, and not you, Patrick, the main media has you know, essentially taken sides, which has made our country take sides on this issue. But I had to do my research. We had to do our due diligence and figure out what the vaccine was, what the risks were for myself and my family. So I would encourage people to get it, but once again, do your research.
Absolutely.
We have to do the bid opening now.
Okay,
Time for that.
it is 10:04, and we have the engineer's office represented by Paul today.
How y'all doing today?
Good to see you,
We're
Paul.
doing
How are
wonderful.
you?
How are you?
Just fine. Good seeing y'all today.
Good to see you on this beautiful, beautiful day. I would say that the engineer's department is very busy today,
Yes,
on a day like today.
getting stuff done.
This bid opening is for concrete and grout, aggregate materials, emulsion, cutback, and primer materials. They're kind of broken into sections. So the first group that we have is the concrete and grout, and the first bidder I have is the Wells Group, and they are out of West Liberty, Kentucky. They do have a cashier's check here.
Okay, this will be for the concrete. We have several different here to read. Class QC1 is $137 per cubic yard. ODOT 510 grout is $152 per cubic yard. Class QC2 is $143 per cubic yard. QC3 is $149 per cubic yard. Class QCFS is $163 per cubic yard. Class MS is $158 per cubic yard. And LSM-100 is $97 per cubic yard. And that's all for that group.
And the next one is from Towpath out of Beaver, Ohio.
Okay. For towpath, the class QC1 is $120 per cubic yard. For the grout is $140 a cubic yard. For the QC2 is $130 a cubic yard. For the class QCFS is $160 a cubic yard. And for the low-strength mortar, LSM-100 is $85 a cubic yard. And that is all in your package.
Paul,
They have a bid bond.
I noticed that Towpath is not bidding each item,
Right.
so you'll just be taking the best.
The lowest price for the items that we get bids for.
Is there a bid bond?
Yes.
And the next one is for emulsion cutback and primer materials, and this is from Marathon Petroleum Company.
So that will be all the bids for the concrete and
Yes.
grout materials. And this will go on to emulsions, cutbacks, and primer materials.
There is a bid bond.
Okay, for the HFMS-2, it is $1.78 a gallon. For MWS-150, it's $1.84 a gallon. For the AE-200, it's $1.93. For the SS-1H, it's $1.78. For the MCS-3, it's $2.90. And for the RS-2, it's $1.78.
Okay, the next one is asphalt materials out of Marietta, Ohio. Do you have a bid bond?
For the HFMS-2, it's $1.67, 1.671. For the AE-200 is 1.771. For the SS-1H, they did not bid. MCS is 2.771. And for the RS2 is 1.671. And they did not bid the MWS 5. Or MWS 150.
And that is all for the emulsion cutback primer materials. The next one will be the aggregate materials. And the first bidder is Latham Limestone out of Latham, Ohio.
In this bid, there will be multiple items. What we'll do is we take the lowest bid from whichever place it is. The item I will be reading off for the bid for today will be number 8 stone, and this will be delivered to the Lucasville garage from both contractors.
They do have a bid bond.
So number 8 limestone delivered to Lucasville is $16 per ton.
And the next bid is from Hanson Aggregates out of Peoples, Ohio. We do have a bid bond.
So number 8 stone delivered to the county highway garage at Lucasville is $17.72.
And that is all of the bids that we have.
We have a motion to refer all the bids to our county engineer, Dan LeBrun.
I'll make the motion to refer the bids.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Okay.
I think there was more questions.
Anything else left on the public comment on off the record? Was there one more? Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that.
There are a few more.
Okay.
So Mark Craycraft, on agenda, 80% reimbursement is very good. Why is there none or very little collections from the offender? I've checked with other counties and they have a standardized payment plan to offset the 20% or more not reimbursed by the state.
That would be a great question for Common Pleas Court. Mark should follow up with that. They do pay quite a bit in fees and fines, our defendants do. What that number is, I don't have that in front of me. What municipal court does, that's another completely different ball of wax. But yeah, they do pay quite a bit in fees and fines, but he would need to get with them to get that information.
Mark Craycraft, off the agenda. At this point, does it look like all of the fun activities, parades, fairs, and river days will be able to move forward this year?
I can't speak for all of them. Looks like the fair is going to be full blast. Looks like that's going to happen. Parades, I just heard yesterday, I guess the Memorial Day parade is canceled. Is that right? I have heard that for Portsmouth. So I guess that's a prime example where I guess maybe not. And it's really up to those organizations to make those decisions based upon what we're seeing. It looks like we're heading in that direction. To echo what Commissioner Powell said though, we still have to be cautious. We need to be cautious. So let's do that. We're still seeing a resurgence of coronavirus in less developed countries. So let's hope that doesn't happen here, because we are seeing a lot of progress being made locally, especially Southern Ohio. Our region is seeing a lot of progress being made fighting this pandemic. So let's make sure we stay on that trend.
And
To answer your
I think when you
question.
look at it, it's based on the governor's orders, which expire June 2nd for just about everybody but nursing homes, assisted livings, adult congregate care settings, and prisons. So in terms of community orders, it looks like all of those expire June 2nd, which might play into the Memorial Day parade, because it kind of hits right
This is
before
true.
that.
Yeah.
So, but it will be up to those organizations, but it doesn't look like there'll be any orders that prevents those from happening.
Not that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Not that we're seeing. So good question. Yeah.
Stephanie Thurman, any plans for the Portsmouth West Portsmouth area?
Any plans for the West Portsmouth?
I would assume that she's asking, are there any current plans for the West Portsmouth area? But I'm not sure if she's speaking to a specific item or just in general.
And we have the pump park,
Yeah.
we have the walking trail.
Got both those
ODNR's
going
doing
on.
their project down at the
Yeah.
golf course, so I guess,
Of course, we have the wastewater treatment plant going through $1 million renovation
you know,
in West Portsmouth. Golly, there's new power lines going through West Portsmouth. That's a very broad question. What else is going on in West Portsmouth?
But we're always open to good ideas.
Kathy, that's your territory. What's going on with sportsman?
Well, the splash pad is opening soon.
That's right, 24th?
May 24th,
Yeah,
and I think we've pretty well covered it.
yeah. My son is actually in Earl Thomas Conley Park today on a field trip prior to the splash pad opening, but they're still going to have a full fun day, and everybody really needs to visit Earl Thomas Conley Park. It is absolutely gorgeous right now.
Yes.
With the pump track coming, it's going to add a new fun adventure for everybody who comes. Something else that isn't spoken of very much that you can do at Earl Thomas Conley Park is the Frisbee golf. There is a Frisbee golf course there, so if you don't know that, now you do. But basketball, tennis, the pickleball, brand new volleyball courts were just put in. So we really appreciate all the work that they're doing down there, Brian Howard and his team. The splash pad will open on schedule. Very excited about that. The park looks wonderful. There's a walking trail, a hiking trail, 2-mile loop down to the river. You know, take that hike, go down there. It's a wonderful nature walk. Beautiful day like today, it would be very much take a bottle of water with you because it is a 2-mile loop. And but the park is beautiful. Take a picnic basket. There's tables. There's opportunities. If you don't have a shelter rented, there's also other picnic tables that you can sit at underneath trees around the park. So take an opportunity to do so. It is a 200-acre park. A lot of people don't realize just how big it is, and it is a beautiful, the largest park other than Shawnee State Park, of course, in our community. So please take the time to go do that. And there's all kinds of other things to do in the community. I saw a Facebook thread this weekend on parents who were looking for things to do with their kids. We hear a lot that there's nothing for kids to do. My goodness, that string was so long. I don't know if you read all of those, the things to do. You couldn't get them all done. There's no way. And I really appreciated the person who started that conversation because, my goodness, it was one thing right after another. There's dozens of things, and the problem is a lot of this is covered. It's out there. It's information, but not everybody goes to the right place or knows where to look, and it opened up a real big discussion, and I think there was a lot of people surprised about how much there was to do, and so we recommend get outdoors, go do something, and get your kids outdoors, get them active, and there is a lot of things to do.
Mark Craycraft, off agenda. Businesses are open and ready for business. However, there is an employee deficit. What would you say to the citizens to encourage them to get back to work, in your own opinions?
I mean, I'll speak for myself because we run into this as well in healthcare, and I know all healthcare around here is running into it. I know some people have been staying home because of the unemployment benefit. That's ending. That's ending real soon. Everybody's hiring. But if you wait too long or wait for the unemployment check to stop, you're going to miss out on the good opportunities. And there's some really excellent opportunities out there right now. So get back in the job force. We would encourage that. See our businesses open and not having to alter their hours. I've never seen that where they've had to alter hours. Prior to the pandemic, you didn't see that. So hopefully we're getting to a sense of people being comfortable going back into the workforce. So.
It also concerns me, I see hiring bonuses,
Yep.
which tells us exactly how desperately they are needing the workforce. But as we've said before today, if you wait, there may not be a job to come back to. When everything is gone, your unemployment, the other, the opportunity for a job just may be gone when you need it most. So we really encourage you to come out, go back to your job, seek a job. That's the great American way.
I'll add one more thing because I know Brian will have something. But as you're going, I know you're going to have something.
Touche.
But even if you have a job and you're going out to our businesses, be considerate, knowing that they are
Short-staffed.
short-staffed and struggling. I know people who have worked 20-plus days straight, 30 days straight,
Yes.
nonstop overtime, just to keep the doors open so that we as the community can enjoy their establishments. So try to be mindful of that. I know a lot of times we don't take that into perspective, but it's an issue, and it's an issue not just here in the county, but throughout the state. But be mindful when you're sitting in the drive-through longer than you think you should, or you're waiting on your food at the restaurant longer than you think you should, or whatever that issue. The door doesn't open quick enough in the morning because somebody didn't get there in time. Be mindful that there's still people out there, they're trying, they're working hard, but we got to get our workforce back engaged.
We're at 5.5% unemployment right now. Our numbers are up as far as number of people employed. We are probably looking at another record low as far as unemployment goes for April. I was looking at what they call the heat map. The unemployment heat map for Sauter County is looking very good. It continues to drop. Our trending continues to drop year after year. There are a lot of things happening. A lot of businesses are adding people. Incomes are going up. That's one thing that when we went through this entire bond refinancing, we found out that even though our median income has gone up, which that's a story in and of itself. I mean, that is a great, wonderful story that not only median individual income, but also family income is rising in our area. We're seeing that, but it is so important. I made a comment the other day about, in this meeting about, we get a lot of questions. We see a lot of traffic in social media as to why don't we have certain things? Well, the reason we don't have certain things is because of median income. There are companies who literally will not locate in an area unless the median income is at a certain level. That number of cars passing by on a road, things like that. Those are all important variables. Very few people know or understand that it is true. It is baked into their cake. It is how they do business. So as we get our median income up, more and more opportunities will arise in our community. Our employers are hiring. I read and I was just astounded. And you can only do this for so long as an individual. You know, one particular business owner saying that she worked over 100 hours just to keep her business open because of lack of employees. You know, I made the comment earlier about, you know, how, you know, we had heroes, nursing home workers, others. How about our restaurant owners? How about our restaurant employees? They're heroes. They kept their businesses running. They kept them operational with a 20-ton government elephant on their back the whole time, telling them that they had to, you know, reduce seating. And anytime you decrease capacity, you decrease profitability. I mean, that's just business. And of course, they went through that and they survived that, but here they are, they're trying to come out of it, but they can't get people to work. I think that the rollback of the unemployment probably should have started a couple of months ago. I think Ohio was slow to the draw on this thing, I really do, but it is happening, it's getting done, and people do need to go back to work. I'll echo what my co-commissioners have said. We got to get people working, and they need to do it now. Don't wait. Wages are up. You're seeing what people are offering in bonuses and also just hourly wage. There are opportunities out there. I sat in a restaurant the other day. I watched a waiter, and you know, for some reason, our society, for some reason, is telling people that I think they're expressing that certain jobs are not worthy of certain people. And I'm like, you know what? We all started out low. I did a post on Facebook, just our personal experience. You know, my wife and I, we started out poor, very poor. We had hand-me-down furniture. We didn't have nothing. You know, most of us were like that. We didn't have a whole lot. And you know, I worked a factory job. Not to go too long on this, but $3.15 an hour. You know, and she worked a waitress job, and we made it work. It took two of us to do it, and it was hard. But there was times that she made like I said in the post, she made bank. I mean, she did. She would get tips, and those tips would add up. And I know some nights she'd come home and she made like $20 an hour, and that was back in the 90s. I mean, that was good money back then. And just depending on how good you were and what you did, you know, I see some other heads nodding because you've been there, you did that. You make some money if you have a good night and if you work at the right establishment. You know, some establishments make it easier for tipped waiters and waitresses to make money. You know, so there are opportunities out there right now, but then there are also skilled jobs that are available, a lot of them. There's a lot of skilled jobs inside the county. The SOMC is looking for nurses. Those are skilled jobs. Those are jobs that pay good money. STNAs, others, these jobs are needed now. Home health aides, you name it. There are so many jobs that are available out there. And, you know, you have to have a letter of certificate. You have to have a certificate of you know, learning. You have to have a degree on some of these jobs, and they pay good. So if you're not, if you don't have the education to land some of these more, you know, better paying jobs, go get it. We have Career Technical Center. We have workforce development agents out there that do these kind of things that'll help you get that done. You know, Scotty mentioned the trades. My goodness, they're dying for people right now. There's a lot of construction going on, and we have apprenticeship programs in this county, and they're looking for apprentices to come in and learn these jobs. And I know some of the people coming out of the Career Technical Center, like the welding program, they come out and in their first year, they're making a lot of money because they've got the skills to go straight to work. So, you know what? DeSoto County has always weathered times like these. We always have. And we are traditionally a blue-collar community. And it's time we rise to the occasion. There's a lot of jobs available. Hundreds of job openings right now in our community, and it's time for people to get back to work. And as we do that, we will continue to see our median income increase. We will continue to see our community grow, and that's what we're looking forward to for the remainder of this year into 2022. I think there's some really good things on the horizon.
I have no further questions.
Okay, just parting real quick, I got a couple things I'd like to add. I really appreciate the fact that the splash pad is going to open again. Will this be our 4th season? I think it is. 4th season for the splash pad. It will be opening on the 24th, and which is a week earlier than Memorial Day, which is nice. We'll work out any bugs that we have or anything like that. I don't think we have any. They said everything was running fine. They fired it up the other day, and it looks like we're going to be good. So bring your sunscreen and towel and enjoy yourself at the splash pad. Encourage people to get out, enjoy the weather. You don't have to wear a mask outside, and it feels good to be outside. It really does. And by the way, I'll just throw this in too. Spend some time on the porch with your kids. Spend some time with your family. Take the time to get reacquainted after a year. We're going to be doing that Saturday. We're having a Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas get-together. We really are, and we're going to be doing that, and we're actually going to have stockings, and we're going to have an Easter egg hunt for the kids, and we're going to have a good time. And we're just doing it because it's okay to do it, and we're going to have fun doing that. So get out, have some fun. We live in a beautiful area. I also want to say this. I appreciate the work being done with our loss control, with Samba. Samba is a way for us to be responsible as a government, to track the safety of our drivers, whether it be someone driving for the county engineer's office in a big giant dump truck, or someone driving a cruiser for the sheriff's office, or someone running an errand to the bank or going and picking up supplies in their own vehicle. We are responsible insurance-wise for those individuals, and the county has worked very hard to keep that database up to date. It makes sure that the taxpayers are covered legally, financially, and insurance-wise, to make sure that our employees are licensed legally, and that we don't have someone running around with an expired license, or, God forbid, have pointed out on their license or something like that, or even a DUI or anything like that. So we have worked hard, Ryan Sheezer has worked hard and lost control to get that updated. They're doing that now. I think most departments have opted in and gotten everything done. We're encouraging all departments to do so. I think the taxpayers need to feel confident in the fact that we are insuring and that we're keeping our liability to a minimum on that, because we do have a lot of drivers for the county. People that are out doing work on a continual basis. So we're getting that done. I appreciate that. And just appreciate everything that's going on right now. I think we need to have a discussion about public participation in our meetings. I think we need to, with the mask mandate ending on June 2nd? June 2nd. I think we need to have a serious conversation about getting the public back into our meetings. We've had the press here, and Patrick, thank you for participating. But we are open to the press, but we do need to have a discussion about opening our meetings to the public again. And I don't know how you guys feel
Well,
about
let's
that.
make the motion to go ahead and open.
I think June 2nd would be
Yeah.
whatever day that falls on, but is it? It is a Tuesday, is it not?
June 2nd.
It's a Wednesday?
Is a Wednesday.
Okay.
So that would be June
June
3rd?
3rd.
Yeah?
I feel that it's necessary. I think it's been a year. We need to do that, and of course we'll continue on with Facebook as we always have.
Yeah.
But I think it would be good to get the public back into our meetings.
Well, I think probably the other thing to mention is, with this, the recommendation is still wear a mask if you're not vaccinated. However, my stance is that we're not going to be the vaccine police or asking people. So, we are now going into a phase of this where once again, it's personal responsibility. You're either honest or you're not. You're either doing what you're asked or you're not, and that's on the people. But probably here at the courthouse, we'll see some different signs that mention that as we're looking at that. But there's some changes coming, I'm sure, on that front as well.
So we do have a motion to
I'll make a motion
open it up to the
to-
public on
absolutely.
June 3rd.
Second.
Second by Ms. Coleman.
Mr. Powell?
Hi.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Thank you. Any other further comments? No? Okay. All right. We're good. All
We
right.
have a meeting at 10:30.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Hi.
Mr. Davis?
10:36.
Thank you.
We have a phone meeting with
Yes.
Diane.
Representative Oliver. Does that have to do with Columbia Gas?